Well, welcome everyone to one of our Jumpstart webinar series. This is TSR Part 2, Staying Ahead of the TSR with ScoreCEO. We're gonna do a quick review this week of what we covered on the last webinar, and we're going to ease into using a feature within ScoreCEO to show you a bit more, which we alluded to in the press call, but we're going to get into the nitty gritty and learn how you can use ChatGPT and not have to hire an HTML programmer or even us to go ahead and do your own customizations of your own portals. And you can do quite a few things with that. Either way, you can either decrease the amount of work to be done and beautify it later with a graphic artist, but you'll get to see a bunch of things that some of our personnel are doing with banners and how you can use that in your portals. Today, we have Jasmine Burgos and Almas Tariq. Almas is her first time on our webinars with us, but she's our marketing coordinator at Score, and she does work for our customers as well as Score with regards to marketing, blog marketing, authority building through blog marketing. She does great written articles as well for us. And she's with us 24/7 at Score. So say hi, Almas, to the ScoreCEO crowd. Hello, Almas. I guess she's having some issues with her microphone. Jasmine, we have Jasmine Burgos. A lot of you know Jasmine. I'm pretty sure you do. She's either helping you out with your day-to-day customer service endeavors, or she has attended some of your dispute processing questions and answers, and she's attended you there. Sometimes a lot of you have a lot of creative ways of how you run your business, and she looks for ways that you can go ahead and do that within ScoreCEO. So Jasmine, welcome today.
Thank you for having me. And Almas, now she can speak. I just didn't have her as a presenter, but she's able to.
You did that on purpose. You didn't want to share the limelight, did you?
No. I just didn't realize it until now.
Awesome. Almas, go ahead and present yourself to the team and to our audience. Oh, I guess you can't talk.
Yes, I can talk. Hello, everyone.
There you go. Awesome. Well, like I said, Almas is our marketing coordinator, and she does a lot of things for us and for a lot of you out there. So feel free to engage her whenever you can. Jasmine, you might want to put in the chat your email and her email. So if somebody needs to reach out to Almas, they can via email. Thank you. A bit of housekeeping here. We're going to be talking about things that are very, they're legal, and we are not attorneys. And I want to make sure all of you understand that. What we express today, and we have anything from any of our webinars, is based on our opinions. Since we've been in the space since 2008, in the providing services to CROs since 2010. We have done consultations with Greenspoon and Martyr, which we believe is probably the premier attorney group within the credit repair and debt settlement space. They've defended bad players, good players, and they've done their job defending them with regards to FTC litigation, FCRA litigation, and things of this nature, and CFPB litigation as well. So once again, we're not attorneys. Please read the legal disclaimer, and anything that you see here or any advice that we may give you, we want you to run it by your legal staff and your business. Thank you. So let's cover some things that we covered last week. Number one, let's review what is the TSR, right? And the things that are important to us are, number one here is that telemarketers disclose key material information to consumers. The thing is, what is that key information, right? Well, those things are, we have to be careful on not being a telemarketer, right? Because we don't want to be bound to the TSR. And if we are, the TSR is enforcing payment restrictions on the sale of certain goods and services, particularly in our space. That is not equal, and it could be different than the e-commerce space. It could be different than any other space, the medical space. But if you're talking to your customers via the phone, or you're talking to them through video chat, that live video chat, both of those are considered a telemarketing endeavor. Not a normal text chat, not email. You can always communicate with your leads and customers that way. But the moment that you set an expectation on a phone or on a video call, a live video call, from that point on, you're bound to the TSR, and the TSR says, in those payment restrictions for credit repair and for credit repair organizations, you have to wait 6 months to get paid. Well, we know that nobody can that's not a very good business model. But if you don't want to be bound to the TSR, remember this: what is equal is not an advantage. This is for every credit repair organization that's doing business on the up and up, right? So they all have to be bound to the TSR, and they have no competitive advantage over you. So what do? We try to not be bound to the TSR by providing automated ways and providing doing a few things within our marketing, so that we're not forcing customers to talk to us, but rather to go before talking to us to get a few things done first. So specifically, when we're talking about abusive practices, we can see here in C, right? The seller has provided the person with documentation in the form of a consumer report from a consumer reporting agency demonstrating that they promised results that have been achieved. Such reports having been issued more than 6 months after the results have been achieved. So if you're bound to the TSR, you're bound to all this stuff, not just to the Credit Repair Organizations Act. So the trick is not to be bound to the TSR. So how do we do that? Okay, well, basically, in general, what you want to do is you want to identify places that your leads or your go to, right, when they buy products and services, right? Well, websites, lead magnets, landing pages, marketing and sales content, enrollment disclosures, phone numbers on your websites, on your social media platforms, things of that nature, special sales funnels that you've built for affiliate relationships and things of that nature. Anything on your contract even, right? Anything that has a phone number, and or your emails, or you're trying to force them into not force them, but basically give them the opportunity to go ahead and call you, or directing them to call you. That needs to change in your business. But guess what? It needs to change in every business out there, any online business and any offline business, right? That you can have billboards out there, or D-boards, or banners, freestanding banners in a barbershop or something, right? At a dealership, you may have a freestanding banner for credit repair or something like that. You cannot put your phone on those things. You want to keep your phone off of them and either attend to them. You want to attend to them in an automated way. And once again, everybody needs to comply with that unless they want to wait 6 months to get paid. And nobody wants to do that. So what are the marketing don'ts, right? Don't display your number on your websites and landing pages, run advertisements, like I mentioned earlier, emails and letters, free resources, what we call lead magnets, or any call to actions on any of your digital or marketing strategies, right? Or any of your classical print strategies, billboards, D-boards, stuff like that. You want to take the number off of it. So you may want to rethink how you do that, right? You may want to have QR codes, for example, on traditional marketing, right? And then people can just click on the QR code and go directly to the sales funnel. And you can create those funnels through your website and through ScoreCEO. We have a banner page option that has been with us for a very long time at ScoreCEO. Before this TSR issue there was no real rulings around it, and after that it has a separate use as well. But on top of that, we also have a lead portal. So in ScoreCEO, every time somebody opts into any web form that directs them into ScoreCEO, that lead automatically goes through an activation process so that they can go ahead and accept all double opt in to all the future marketing and emails that you're going to be sending based on categories, and they want to accept the end user agreement, right? We're probably one of the only companies that does that. And we were when we released ScoreCEO, our strategy around that was really using the lead as a referral source, because within their portal, anybody, whether a lead, a customer, a user, or referral agent or partner, all of these types of different contact types within ScoreCEO, they all get a unique a referral ID or link that they can use to post on social media and squeeze traffic onto one of your forms. Okay, so because of that, you have a way to engage customers through a lead portal. The sales don't. Yes.
We have a question before we move on. I just wanted to see if you can answer that. It's from Chris, and his question is: if someone does call the number and says the customer gets a message directing them to the website, would this bind the TSR, or is it okay?
Please read
Yes.
that to me again. That's it.
Yes, if someone does call the number and says the customer gets a message directing them to the website. So I'm assuming like a voicemail that directs them to the website. Would this bind to the TSR, or is it okay?
No, that's perfectly legal as long as it's not a live. Remember, if it's not a video call, that means a live video call, or a phone call, an actual phone call, somebody talking to them, and they got. Well, let me think about that. Hold on. You're saying like a voicemail that responds to them, and how would they receive that voicemail? Would they receive that voicemail back on their phone or through a text message or an email? Chris? Jasmine, can you guys hear me?
Says basically a recorded message.
So if it's a pre-recorded message on the phone, you should be directing them automatically on the phone, a pre-recorded message back to your website. And before we can talk to you, you have to do a few things first and just follow the process. And that's the way to redirect them back. If you're sending something to them, it can't be a robocall. That's why I paused after I said yes. It can't be a robocall back. That could be interpreted as a phone call that with the message going there. But it could be a message, a voice message via text, or a link that takes you to a pre-recorded video or something, or an audio, or it could be via email as well. So if it's a number they call and it's telling them to go back and do the following things first, and then they can schedule a call, that's perfectly fine. But if you're going to engage them, don't do it through a robocall. Do it through something else. Hopefully, I answered your question, Chris.
Yes, thank you, Josh.
Awesome. So let's discuss some of the don'ts, right? One of the things that you shouldn't be doing in sales, right, is the basic thing here is you think about talking to the customer. Why would the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau want to avoid that? And why would they put such a steep price or a restriction of waiting 6 months if you do? Well, it's to me, it's obvious that they're trying to curtail setting the wrong expectations with customers, right? Or pressure sales or things of that nature, right? Because that is, bad credit. If you think about it, is some for a lot of your customers is very embarrassing. Number one, and number two, it's something that's very personal. Like I said before, you just don't go places and say, hey, you know what? And you're sitting at the barbershop and how's your credit score? My credit score is doing great. Do you have a Nobody talks about that. Everybody's talking about politics. Everybody's talking about the election. Everybody's talking about some video they saw on YouTube, Instagram, how tired they are, whatever. But the last thing on their mind is to go share their financial information or their credit information and worthiness with a guy or with a gal or guy they just met that's sitting right beside them. It's just not very common. Not that it's impossible, but it's not common. So they don't want you to set expectations. That's the issue here. That's why they want to make sure that the customer has done their due diligence before, that they understand what the service is. One. Number two, that they understand that they have a sufficient knowledge to go ahead and select a varying degree of service. If you have in your business one plan, well, it's a lot simpler. If you have three plans, good, better, best, well, they have to figure that out themselves, or maybe they can ask questions on a chat, but not through the phone and not through a video call. It can't be in person, right? And so they have to basically select a plan, sign an agreement, and provide payment details. Why? Because if you get providing these payment details on a credit card and actually telling you to run a charge on that credit card is considered valuable consideration when you provide the information, because you can charge at any time after that. Therefore, just the payment details alone is as if they were paying for something, right? So you want to make sure that you don't violate CROA within your new modified process. So when they do provide payment details, you want to have provided them some value first. So maybe you send them a credit audit that you can go over and explain in detail later on and do a complete credit consultation, right? So you think about what has to be done to not be bound to the TSR, these first things here, and that's what the basic understanding of this, okay? If leads call, even if they request a callback, they have to go and train your personnel to go ahead and force them to go to the website. Because if you talk to them, you cannot charge that customer for any of your services until 6 months after you've performed those services. And nobody wants to do that. You can't hire virtual assistants or third parties to call on your behalf. That's very dangerous. I would say that's egregious, because you know what you're not supposed to be doing, and you're trying to involve third parties to do that. They specifically call that out, right? Discuss your credit audits on calls or video or video conferences before it's a lead, right? When I say a video conference, maybe you recorded something on a video and you sent it back, right? But don't do a live video call with them and go over it, because now it's like as if it were a phone, right? You want to be really careful with that. If not, just send them the credit audit. That's it. Just, once you have their credit monitoring details, once you have access to their credit report, go ahead and import it into ScoreCEO and print a credit audit to PDF and send it to them. Okay, so you have to monitor where your customers are at in ScoreCEO, and that's a good thing. In ScoreCEO, you can look at your workflow for every single customer, and you can inspect that customer, as many times as you want to see if they've progressed during that in your process. That means maybe they signed the agreement, maybe they went ahead and already provided your credit monitoring details, maybe they went ahead and provided the payment details of some sort. As soon as they provide you with a report, you should be monitoring that, so you can send them immediately a credit audit. I'd send it whether they pay, they're not paying for that, right? That's something you're giving to them for free. At all times during that process, you want to reinforce as well. My opinion is that you want to reinforce that there is no obligation for them to sign even after they sign up with you, because even after they sign up with you, you want to give them 7 days, 5 to 7 days for as a right to cancel, and that's CROA, right? So if you give them 5 to 7 days after, right, and they cancel on day 4 or day 6 in whatever of two of those scenarios, they've just went through your service, maybe subscribed to credit monitoring, right? They had to pay for that, right, individually, and then they went ahead and got a credit audit, and they went on and they did it themselves. Well, let's assume that's the case. Well, if that happens and they're able to do it themselves, well, more power to them. Okay, but you're better off doing that than paying some fine because you're trying to talk to them and save a deal. You don't want to do that. And remember, what's equal is not an advantage. Every other credit repair business out there needs to go through the same vetting, right? The laws apply equally to all CROs, right? So you want to preach that. You want to put that on your website. You want to brag about that. If they're talking to other credit repair businesses or they're being solicited by other credit repair businesses, you may want to reconsider, because that may be a company that's not doing their business on the up and up. I'm not going to mention the name, but it suffices to say it's one of the top 5 businesses on the web. And I got to tell you, I went ahead and I opted in to one of these companies, actually 2 of these companies, and both of them called me back almost immediately. Now, these are companies that are doing multiple millions of dollars per year in credit repair. So and their websites are starting to change. They're going through a process of transferring their business and doing it differently. Obviously, it's going to take bigger companies more time to retrofit new processes. When you're smaller, you can make pivots like this, and it's easier for you. But that gives you a competitive advantage as a small business owner. So take charge of this and start implementing these sales don'ts, right? Remember, the CFPB video calls, Google Meets, things of that. They on Zoom where we're interacting live. That's not the way to do it. You can do pre-recorded videos that you can record and email it to them, or text a link to them, or have a QR code that they look at that QR code and it takes them to the appropriate video. Have a workflow within the banner portal and consistently reassure them that there's no obligation. You signed that agreement, no obligation. They selected a payment plan. There's no obligation. They can cancel at any time. They provide you with credit card details, no obligation, and you're not going to charge until they actually give you permission to charge. Okay. And when they give you permission to charge, they've got 5 to 7 days to cancel. And in ScoreCEO, you can schedule a consultation payment out 7 days, and you can do, and so it's very easy for you to automate that process if they don't cancel prior. Saying you're giving free credit repair, but you're selling another paid product with it. Seek legal consult on this, but my personal opinion, don't do it. Just very dangerous, right? That's what I call bait and switch, right? Call your fees voluntary contributions or something very creative like that. Stay away from it. Giving away or selling a credit audit, right, as an opportunity. That means you're going to go ahead and then give them a credit audit, right, so that you can talk to them to sell credit repair as an excuse to speak to them. And you're saying, well, I'm giving you a credit audit. I'm not doing credit repair, so I'm going to talk to you about the credit audit live. Stay away from that as well. That's specifically mentioned by them as well. Okay, so let's talk about, we've made this a bit easier to look at. This is the sales process, in our opinion, that binds you. Lead opts in, right, or calls in, right, and the CRO speaks either by phone or video to them immediately. Not that you're non-compliant, is that now you're bound to the telemarketing sales rule. Client signs up to credit monitoring. Perfectly legal. CRO sends them a credit audit to the lead. Perfectly legal. CRO schedules a consultation with the lead, or the lead schedules it as well, because if you give them that opportunity, you'll see later on in banners that you can create links to schedule to bring up something like Calendly or something like that can be connected to your Outlook, and those types of things can create. You can have a consultation a calendar for that, and you can do that with links and banner pages in in ScoreCEO lead portals and customer portals. So either they can schedule a call or you can schedule a call for them. Either way, you're talking to the customer. So you're still bound to TSR. You've been bound since the moment you spoke to them. CRO discusses the service offering with the lead on a phone or video chat, right? Not a good thing. Just reinforcing that you're setting expectations, and you're talking to the customer before they've made their own decisions and done their own research, right? Leads select the service, right? Well, whether they did it on their own or not, it's irrelevant because the service. You've already spoken to the customer a number of times before that. The CRO sends a contract digitally. Lead signs the contract digitally. Lead provides credit card information. CRO takes payment or schedules payment for a later date. Only after you provided a service. Like if you've given them the consultation, then and only then can you take a payment. This is generally the way a lot of you out there were running your businesses, right? And some of you still are. I said, is this illegal? No, it is not illegal. It's perfectly legal to do this. Matter of fact, this complies with the Credit Repair Organizations Act. What is being said is that now the CFPB is passing is saying if you talk to them, now you're complying with the Credit Repair Organizations Act, but in order for you to comply with the telemarketing sales rule, because you're talking to that customer, now you're bound to their rules and regulations. Okay, so which is you can't charge for the consultation or any of the subsequent charges, vis-a-vis a monthly charge or a paper performance charge, until you go ahead and exhaust the 6-month period. There would be a 6-month buffer between that. That is a problem. So being bound to the TSR is certainly something you want to master. And you want to have the tools to do it. And in ScoreCEO, and the topic for today, after we finish this review, is to show you how you should do it. Now, I want you to look at the complexity of this. How many times do you I want to tell you something. I was saying what's equal is not an advantage. Well, when you start talking to customers, you know how difficult it is to get a customer on the phone? I mean, sometimes it's discouraging. They opt in, and 5 minutes later they don't answer their phone, right? They won't answer for a few days. You have to call them a couple of times. Well, guess what? If you're directing them and pushing them through a process that's manual, there's a lot less steps for them to engage in, and it's a pre-qualifier. If they're willing, sorry about that. If they're willing to go ahead and do that, the lead is this is the process that doesn't bind you to the TSR. They go ahead and submit they opt in to a landing page or a website, right? And guess what? In ScoreCEO, when you set up your forms, you can tie to any form on your page the basic plan, for example. Let's call if you had 3 plans. One is a $99 a month plan and a $99 consultation fee. Let's say that is your plan. Okay, you can tie every opt-in to that $99 consultation plan, and then because that opt-in is going to be used in ScoreCEO to define the plan and add the verbiage of what is the service that you're offering in one of the exhibits inside of ScoreCEO. It's part of our contract module, and if you're using the state-by-state compliance module, it's going to send the appropriate contract and state disclosures for that particular state if you've defined yourself as compliant in that state for that company, based on for that customer based on their zip code. So you're complying all over the place with ScoreCEO with them. We've given you the tools, right? Well, that automatically selects the plan for them. Or if they click on a landing page that has a pricing menu, a good, better, best, let's say, type of menu, you can define a button that goes to the web form link that asks them for their basic information and then tells them to go ahead in the thank you page to check their email to activate the portal and continue their process so that you guys can talk to them after they've completed their unattended process. They have to do these things first. Okay.
Josh, can you share your screen with us?
I'm sorry. How long has it been since you're not seeing the screen?
Just a few minutes.
Well, that's a long time. Okay, so I'm going to go over this is the sales process that does not bind you to the telemarketing sales rule, right? And you can see if we look at at the way this doesn't bind you, just look at it. There's how many steps here? There's 4, there's 7, and there's like 8, 11 steps here. Okay, when you look at the steps in an unattended way, there's the customer opts in on a pre-selected web form, right? Like I mentioned earlier, that pre-selects their payment plan because you defined it that way, either from a payment plan page or from any other opt-in, like a contact us. You can use the smallest contract for them, and they'll receive a lead that that all leads in ScoreCEO receive an activation email. And they click on that activation email. You can modify that text, right, and send them an email that talks to them about the legality of what's going on and modify your new lead nurturing campaigns, right? On activation, the screen, what the customer is doing is it takes them, when they click on that link, it takes them to a page where they have to accept the end user agreement. They have to validate the opt-ins so that you can freely market to them. So you're sending them an EUA. That's a form of compliance, right? 2, you're telling they're legally opting in to the campaigns and to the marketing campaigns that you're sending, because they can choose to unselect marketing because they don't want to receive your marketing, and that's their choice legally. But you're giving them the choice right at the beginning. That's why we give we give lead portals to everybody, because it's the best way to engage them in an unattended way. They're gonna go ahead and set their portal password. All of this happens on that same page when your customers are opting into your forms. Okay, and there's a login link that says log in now, right? So once they set their password, they can go ahead and save it and hit log in, and it takes them to the login page. And then the lead goes ahead and logs in. Now, this is all outside of ScoreCEO's portal, right? This part here is all outside of the portal. This side, once they log into the lead portal, which is also the consumer portal, right? The leads, you can create mechanisms through banner pages that lets them subscribe to credit monitoring. You can go, once they subscribe to credit monitoring, guess what else you can see that in ScoreCEO. And in ScoreCEO, once you monitor that workflow for that customer and you see that they provided you with the credit monitoring login details, you can go ahead and pull that report, import it, and send them a credit audit report. You don't even have to talk to the customer about it. Tell them it's going to happen. I mean, you could through chat if you wanted to. You could prompt them on your I suggest that when you create little video snippets along with these with this personalization inside your banner pages, you go ahead and you create little videos around it. I'm working with a few CROs right now that I'm creating some processes with them, and we're editing their new lead nurturing campaigns, and they've got a lot of questions. I don't want to name names, but a few of you are on this call at this time right now. Okay, the CRO, you can go ahead, and once you have the audit, the credit monitoring and the audit report, and they've provided you with enough information, like the credit card information, you can go ahead and send them a contract at any point in time as well. Once they've provided you with the credit card information, now you can go ahead and they can schedule an onboarding call through any type of calendaring system that you can also create buttons and links and things of that nature in your banner pages. And that's what we're going to go and show you now. Okay. So once again, I want you banner pages. What are banner pages? Well, I'll let Jasmine go ahead and show you what banner pages are, but it suffices to say, can you bring up your pages, Almas and Jasmine? It suffices to say that you can use it for TSR unattended sign up, which is the big thing now, right? But you could create your affiliate offers there. If you have links to rent sites, credit card broker, promote your blogs, things of that nature, and anything your creativity or your business prowess has given you the ability to have affiliate relationships that pay you for services that you promote and you get paid a commission on, every single one of them can be on your portals. And it's not that easy with ChatGPT. It's not that difficult with ChatGPT to do things like that. And we're going to show you. Okay, so once again, if you need to go ahead and set this up after this call, go ahead and Jasmine post a link on there so that they can set up a call with you and then drag me onto those calls so that we can go ahead we can go ahead and help our customers if they have any doubts. Once we show you how to do one, you probably won't need us at all to do any other. Are you ready to share your screen, Jasmine?
Yes, I'm just grabbing the link to add it in, just in case anyone wants to set up the meeting. They can click on the link. Just bear with me one moment and I will share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have a section now inside of ScoreCEO that we call it our portal banner, which looks something like this, where is inside of the lead portal. Right now we have the sample banner that we see here, but this is where your banner would be located inside of that lead portal. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I simply just created a banner. It does require HTML coding, but I just use ChatGPT to help me kind of create what I wanted. But before I do that, I want to just show you guys some of the examples that I did, just playing around with it, trying to figure out, what I like and what I don't, what I need or what I don't need. So for example, if I go to, let's see here. So for example, in this banner here, I have it so it can try to help me with the TSR, that when they fill out any web forms that I set up on a website, that when the lead first logs in, that it requests for them to fill out their information and upload their documents. So I'm going to turn this one on just so I can show you guys how it will look inside for a lead portal. So let me just refresh this lead. So here, when they first sign in, it would tell them the steps. And again, we can add more things like, some text up here that would say, these are the steps that you need to do to move forward, or, however you want to really word it. But here, I really just wanted to have like a step-by-step of what they needed to do. So if I wanted them to fill out their personal information, I can just click there and it would direct them to their profile, right, on where to add in their personal information. If I go back and I wanted them to add any documents, I place it so it can take them to their document section inside of the lead portal, and so forth. I have for them to order a credit report, and I just put, smart credit link in there. But again, you would put in your link, but I'm redirecting them to a site to do that. And then I'm having them go back in here and add in their credit monitoring information, and it's just taking them to these places.
So Jasmine, sorry to interrupt you. Are you saying just to clarify here, they can go ahead and follow any custom process in there that if the customer knows a bit of HTML, or one of our customers, they could take advantage of that and do whatever they want in that space, in
Yes.
that banner space.
Correct.
Okay. So what are you an HTML programmer?
Not at all.
Okay, so how do you do it?
So the way I get it done is I obviously use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is my best friend. She's with me through thick and thin.
How do you know ChatGPT is a she?
I don't know, but you know how like people have cars and they either have it's a guy car or a girl car and they name it? Well, for me, she's my she. I don't know. But I use ChatGPT. I currently have a paid version, but this will work even with the free version. So it really doesn't matter the version that you have. You can do it. I personally like the newer version because they're always updating, and they actually added a new feature, which is ChatGPT 4.0 with Canva, which is just an HTML coding section. So it's to write code. So it looks a little bit different than the other one, but just for the sake of this, I'm just going to do it on a regular one, just in case someone doesn't have that version. But it's really just prompting it and telling ChatGPT what you want it to do. So I can show you just a few of my prompts here on some of them. And again, with ChatGPT, you have to kind of go back and forth until it gets to you exactly what you want. Again, I'm not an HTML coder, so I probably don't know the exact wording that I want it to say or the exact dimensions of everything. So I have to play around with it and keep asking it to update and fix certain things. But what I did was I did present to the ChatGPT what I wanted to do. So I first start off letting them know that I need to create an HTML banner for my CRM. So that's going to kind of really be my first prompt to have them understand that's what it's for. Then I take it to the next part and let them know that I need images. So I'm going to put in, if I want images, then I'm going to let them know I want images and the amount of images that I want. And if I want any buttons, so if we look here, any of these banners, I have buttons. So I'm kind of visualizing what I want, and then I'm prompting ChatGPT to create that. So the next prompt
and you're doing that through a normal language type of model. This is what you basically wrote. This paragraph is what you wrote in there. Okay, got it.
Yes. So since I wanted it to be specific, so it can take me to specific pages on my customers, on the lead page, the lead portal. I did use some customization. So for example, here, I just created a test portal, a test lead or customer portal, and then I just went to each of the steps. Like I wanted it to go to their profile, for example. So if I wanted it to land here, I knew that I was going to need this last code here for that, because that's going to be the same thing for anyone that goes into their lead portal. So I copied that and I just, specified that. I was specific with it on which button I wanted that in. So in my prompt, I would say, for example, here in the first button, I want for it to say go, and I want it to send them to this code. And then I just put consumer/user profile. ChatGPT really understands, I guess, the coding, because it worked properly. It didn't give me any issues at all with that. And then if you want to add in like the color theme, you can tell it what color you want. Like if you have your company colors and look and themes and the color number, you can always just put the color number in there just to make it more specific. And the more specific you are with it, the more it's going to elevate the prompt and create the banner for you. So I also asked it just to put in my smart credit link. As you can see here, I put in my credit monitoring link, and right here to go to smartcredit.com. I also I wanted to send it like a scheduling link, and I put in my link in there. That way it just directs, it creates everything for me in there. Now, while doing this, we'll see that there was some trial and error. We see here it created something for me, but it wasn't as pretty as I liked it. The boxes were off, the buttons were off, which is common with again, I don't know too much about HTML, so I just keep on telling it, take a look at it, fix the boxes for me, line them up. It did another option here, lined it up not like how I liked it, but then I kept on prompting it and kept on going until eventually I got to where I wanted it to be. And then I just copied the code and put it inside of ScoreCEO, and it created my banner for me.
Where do you copy that code into? So I see where you copy it from ChatGPT, which is just select it and I guess copy that thing, right? But how do you put it into ScoreCEO?
So I would copy this, and we would come here. I would go into create a new banner, and then we have our tools and then our source code. So all you have to do is paste that source code in there and save it, and then it will prompt it in there for you. And
that's cool. That's cool.
So I also created that one, and just playing around with it, I created like a social media banner. Like if you just want your social media to be on top of the site of the customer portal, that, it just like if I go in now to the customer here, let's go back here. It just tells them to, click on their social medias or whatnot. So I just wanted to create and show you guys different options that you can do. And again, if we click on it, it will redirect them always in when I have the correct information, but it'll redirect them to the sites and, for them to sign in and go into each of their social media platforms. So it's not just limited against the TSR. You can create multiple things like Joshua had mentioned, and have it here. Like you can have the TSR and your social media banner. So it's really just up to you on how you want to do it. But ChatGPT will be your best friend on that.
You could basically take maybe two banners, right? Let's say you have your unattended process and you feed it to ChatGPT, and then you go ahead and you have, let's say, a note of your social media, and you feed it to ChatGPT, and then you say combine those two in code, right? And it would,
yes,
and you could play around with that, and you can have one banner that does everything, right?
Correct.
So you could you can get very creative. You can even take that code and send it to some HTML developer on Fiverr or something, and they can go ahead and beautify it for you. Or you can engage our marketing team to do that for you as well. Like I said, we took in some candidates, and we're doing some work for them right now, and I think they're very satisfied with what's going on and through their development process. But I'll let you continue.
Yeah, so basically that's how I kind of have been setting these up, and again, it's not that difficult. I was a little bit skeptical if by using ChatGPT if I was even going to be able to create this, but it was actually quite simple. And I was able to put it in, test it out, and it looked great. The images, if you want it to be different images, you can continue to tell ChatGPT to give you different images. If you have your own images and you have the source code or the links to those images, you can also have it in there. Not just that, you can also add video content. So if you have YouTube channel and you want, instead of it just being kind of like a static image, if you want a video that that tells them what to do next inside there in a video form, then you can even add that. You just tell ChatGPT that you want the video to be in the step, and you give them the link, and it'll add it into the code, and then you just add it in, and it will work great.
Awesome. What about Almas? Can you go ahead and do any like marketing things? Like, for example, could you add like if you want to squeeze your customers to a specific blog that you're posting for this, or you want to send them to your blog page on and just promote the blog page on your consumer lead portal or lead consumer portal, can you do something like that?
Yes. So with these banners, the blog ones and the lead magnet things, it's quite easier than the workflow. You just have to come up with a small script, a small prompt, sorry. So I gave this to ChatGPT that, hey, you are a HTML expert, and I want you to create a nice banner that directs my customer to this.
Hey, I want to ask you a question. You're doing it. So why are you saying you're an HTML expert? What is the purpose of that?
So when you tell ChatGPT who you are, then it acts like it.
Okay.
And then it gives it whatever you're gonna give it. It acts like an HTML guy. He will act like he knows all the HTML. But if you're just giving it like.
So this is what they call engineered prompts.
Yes.
Or system prompts. Good. Awesome. Continue.
So I made it pretty simple. Like, I want a small banner that will say, check out our new blog, and then the title of our blog. And I also gave it the link where it should, which it should apply when someone is clicking on it. And then I also added a CTA, which is, I want a vibrant red new sign that will say new. And I just said, give me the HTML code. I'll just enter it, and it is going to give me the code. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the code from here. I'm going to go to the portal banner. I'm going to create a new one. I'll just paste all the code in this And this is how it's going to look. So if you want to change it, if you want to add your colors, if you want it to look differently, if you want it to be, if you want the new on the left side, if you want the is your credit repair business compliant with FCRA, you can just go to ChatGPT and tell like, hey, I want the heading to be on top, or I want the new to be on left, and it's gonna just change it. You can adjust the spacings if you want. You can, if you want to change the title, you can also change the title here. I'm just gonna hit save, and I'm gonna make this one active and show you how it's gonna work. So I'm gonna go to the lead portal. I'm gonna refresh this. And
Hold on,
this does,
hold on. Well, my question to you is you can why do you make it active? I see you have a whole bunch of banners there. Why do you can only have one that's active at any given point in time? Is that it?
yeah,
Okay.
yes.
I don't want to clear that up. Okay, thank you.
So now this is going to show up here, and whoever is going to click on it, they're going to go to your blog page and they can read your blog. So you can make this look nicer. You just have to talk like to ChatGPT that, hey, I want a different style. I want a specific colors. If you see it just used the colors, whatever it wanted, because I didn't specify it. But if you have your brand colors, you can say, I want you to, I'll just give you an example. I want you to change the banner color to light blue, for example. And if you have the color codes, you can give it color codes. And then I'm going to copy.
That's awesome.
So I'm just going to, and you want to edit your banner, go to source code, and I'm just going to, and you can change the colors.
Awesome.
And
so
if you
change
want
the blue.
Yes.
Awesome. Anything else that we can do creatively for our customers and show them how to do this? Or does anybody have any questions or requests right now? Awesome. I mean, this is pretty cool. I mean, this could be used for, hey, we're talking about doing this for banner pages, but if you want to create dispute letters, if you want to go ahead and modify dispute letters, and you want to go ahead and change and create dispute reasons and things of that nature for yourself, could you do it? Can you use that? Can you do that?
Do you mean in ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
You just have to prompt it as a credit expert and identify what is your definition of a dispute reason, and you should be successful with getting, a possible dispute reason.
Awesome. Well, she's changing the font now, I think, right?
Yes. So you can change it to whatever your business font is, whatever you're using on your website. You can give that to ChatGPT and it is going to change it.
So you could also go ahead and probably change the background of all your email templates as well to make it look like it's got some graphics involved and things of that nature. Because this is the same editor we use all over the place in ScoreCEO. This editor we use it in email templates. We use it in some other areas as well. So I'm pretty sure that you could use it to edit those email templates also. To enter your own custom look and feel. What do you think?
Yes, definitely. I think we can create different templates with this. If we use ChatGPT, we can create different email templates and just change the content, add in the links, use the colors, and they look pretty good.
Now, I know you use this to create blogs, right? Now, it just doesn't spit out a blog. You you really have to know what you're talking about from what we've talked about in the past, and you've got to go ahead and make sure that it's original, that it's not taking information from another person's blog and verbosely copying it from that blog to your blog, making it original. It's not going to use your same keyword strategies as well. So even though it does save you a lot of time, it's still not as easy as it may look, is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Does anybody have any other questions on how they can go ahead, or are you interested in going ahead and implementing some sort of banner in your portal, and you need any help? If you are, okay, because I think I've got to come to a close now. If you are, go ahead and reach out to that link and schedule some time with Jasmine. I'll be on that call, and we can go ahead and help you out as well. If there aren't any questions, thank you very much, everyone, for being on the call this week. And I'd like to challenge you to go ahead and do something. Elaine is happy. I like that, Elaine. I would like you guys and challenge you to go ahead and try it yourself, and you're not going to damage anything. You're not going to screw anything up. The worst case is that you're displaying something that is not working for your customer, right? But you can always deactivate it at any point in time. You don't have to have a banner page selected. You can just deactivate it with a click of editing it in the banner pages area and just unclicking on the active view, right? But you can schedule a call, get on a chat, book a call today, and we're here ready to help you be compliant, ladies and gentlemen, and be successful. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next webinar.